y'all. It's Red, and I'm here with Ryan Cody McMorris. He is an expert at branding in the online space, and I really just want to talk to him about stress building an online business. A lot of people don't even know it's possible. I can't wait to let you hear Ryan's story about how he works from home. That's all he does. Used to be a baseball player. I'll let him tell his story. But really quick, in the online space, there's a lot of overwhelm, anxiety that comes with all the things that you need to do to put the puzzle pieces together. And in order to get started online, you really need a coach. You really need somebody to guide you, or you're going to be lost. So I'm going to introduce you to Ryan. He'll tell you a little bit about his story, and then I'm asking him a series of questions that will hopefully answer some of the things that you always wanted to ask.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me on. Yeah, I got into the online marketing space in January 2014, and I had no idea what I was doing. I was a baseball player. Um, for me, it's kind of funny. I was working with one of my girls today, and we were at Barnes and Noble, and this kid comes over. I just pulled him to the side and I said, "Hey, man, you may want to check something out." I just felt the need to talk to him, and I was telling him my story too. How I was a baseball player. I went into corporate America. That was the only thing that I knew. That's all I thought. That's how you make money. So I didn't know about anything else. And I told him about what I do. He had no clue. He had no clue that this world existed. And we a lot of times we put a lot of stress and anxiety on signing people up, but really it's just about educating people. It took a few minutes to educate the guy on just what I do, and then I said, "Hey, man, I'm busy. Give me your number. I'll shoot you a text message, and if I remember, we'll get in contact with you later." And it's that. I wish somebody would have pulled me aside when I was in college. When I was in pro ball, I wish somebody would have pulled me aside to that. But I was able to come into this world, and really I didn't have any success at all in the beginning. And I immediately, like 6 months into my journey, I was like, there's gotta be a way to do this, and I'm gonna figure it out, and I'm not gonna figure it out by myself, because if I was able to figure it out by myself, I would have figured it out by now. And it's we fall into that trap, and so yeah, I do believe in with stress and anxiety. Yeah, I think you're right on spot when you say you need a coach, you need a mentor, because when you get a job, you know, you're thrown into a new job or new career, you have support. You have a coach, someone that's going to be showing you how to do that particular job for the first pretty much year, you know. And when you get into online marketing or network marketing or some type of entrepreneurship, it's the same thing. You got to have someone that can really coach you, guide you, push you. And just because someone sponsors you into a business doesn't necessarily qualify them as your coach, mentor, or that guide that can help you get somewhere. But a lot of times stress and anxiety and overwhelm comes from just confusion. I will clearly say I used to have overwhelm, anxiety, and confusion as well. I've had it before. I've been there where I felt like I didn't know what to do. I was just sitting in front of my computer. There's you just feel like things are just all over the place, and a lot of times they're not, because it's just a perception.
So I was going to ask you that question. Do you ever get stressed? Obviously, you did. Do you get stressed now?
Not anymore, because I've educated myself and I understand what stress is. So when you becoming educated and understanding what stress is, what it comes from, you realize that you're like, whoa, like I'd stay so far away from stress, that I'll never
Right.
be stressed out again, because I know what the result of stress is. Stress does not get you any closer to a result. It may seem great, to let your frustration out, or feel stressed out or whatever. But at the end of the day, you ask yourself, like, wait a minute, if I get stressed out about this, is it helping me solve the problem at hand? Is it helping me at all? Is losing my mind, or is being in this state of mind helping me at all? Probably not, because if you have a problem, it usually takes the ability to think clearly in order to get out of that problem. So getting stressed out, all that does is put you in more of a fight, not flight. You know what I mean? And when you're in a fight mode, you're tense. Your blood is flowing a lot faster. Your heart's beating a lot faster. The endorphins that are released from your brain aren't saying logic. They're saying extreme heightened emotion. So you're not able to think at your highest level when you're in a stressed out state. And I always tell people, your best thinking got you here. So if you're in that state of mind, allow yourself to be in the best state of mind so you can get somewhere that you actually want to be.
Thank you. So here's something that I didn't even realize this until you were talking, but a lot of people think that I work better under pressure. Like I've heard that, and I've probably said that so much. Like, yeah, I work better under pressure, and I know deadlines are good, but like you're saying, because I believe how you do one thing is how you do everything, right?
Right.
So I'm learning parasympathetic massage at school, and I'm learning that people think that they all need a deep tissue massage. Like they think, oh, get in there and work real hard, And what we really need is a parasympathetic massage. It's really light, and it's helping us get relaxed and puts us in a state that we need to be in, but we really think we need to be like, oh, tackle that. And I've learned, like, working in my online business, if I'm not having fun, if I'm not like really enjoying the process, like really married to the process, that's when I start feeling stressed. Like, dang, I have all this stuff to do.
Right.
Like, so what was the biggest thing that you struggled with when you started in your online business?
Trying to take on everything at once, and literally just, I mean, it's as simple as you don't eat your entire meal in one bite. And things just take time. And I think we get into comparison mode so quickly, and we it sounds cliche, but you're comparing your chapter 1 to someone's chapter 20, but that's what we do. We end up looking at somebody's website. We end up looking at somebody's results. We end up looking at how many views this person gets on Facebook. We end up looking at the interaction. We end up looking at the likes. We end up looking at the checks, or whatever it is, whatever's in your space. We end up looking at that and comparing ourselves to it, and all day, all night, you're telling yourself, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. And you have no idea what that person's gone through years before that. You have no idea the stuff, the work that people put in on the back end, but we end up in this comparison state. And then that puts anxiety on us to do everything all at once. Where if you understood the process, and we always tell people, get married to the process, divorce the results. So if you get married to the process, you understand that, hey, there's a process. People look at my website and they're like, oh man, your website's it's amazing, it's beautiful, it's gorgeous. I'm like, yeah, but you didn't see it 3 years ago. You didn't see it when it just went to a capture page. You didn't see it when literally it wasn't even a site. You didn't see it when there was stuff like all out of place, and I thought it was great.
Right.
It's being in that sense of, okay, there's progress is the key. And I told one of my clients the other day, you do what you're supposed to do for the day, and if you don't get anything done, there's always tomorrow. And if there's not tomorrow, you're in a better place. If tomorrow doesn't come for you, you're in a better place. Hopefully. But it's one of those things where we focus so much. Oh, I didn't get this done today. I didn't get this done today. I got to get this done. And instead, flip the script. Go to bed feeling like I got so much done today. And then guess what? And then I started thinking of like this. Like if I have a list of stuff to do, and I don't get it all done today, I started looking at that as a blessing, because if I didn't get everything done, I already know what I have to do tomorrow. Now I don't have to think about it. I don't have to
Yeah.
like plan on what I need to do tomorrow. Why? Because it's already there. The list of stuff I need to do tomorrow is the stuff I didn't finish today. And I started getting in an emotion of gratitude around that. I was happy about the little stuff that I did finish. I was happy about having already a list for tomorrow that I could go to work on. You know, I was just getting it done. You know, and it adds up. It's like the slight edge effect. You know, but it's very real.
So, you got a coach 6 months in, right? You said?
Yep. Um, I got yeah, kind of a mentor coach about 6 months in.
And what's the most that you've ever paid for a business coach?
5 grand, 5 grand, and I paid 10 for a program, kind of like a program to get into. Yeah.
Got you. Okay. And that's one thing that I've noticed about people who actually do make it in the online world is they're willing to part with some money, like not just for like a product, but like a big program. I mean, I've spent not even as much as you. I've only spent like a few thousand on online stuff before, but I've been doing this online thing like kind of just dabbling. I didn't really get serious until I met you, and it's because I really was looking for you, right? All these other people I stumbled upon. I remember interviewing Rob Ford, and I said, "Isn't it fun to make money on accident?" And he said, "You know what's more fun? To make money on purpose."
I knew he would say that.
Like, duh, you know what I mean? So, like, now I feel like, okay, I got it, like,
Right.
I played around. I listened to you. This month is your 3-year anniversary being in online marketing.
Yep.
You've been in this thing way less than me, and you've, like, taken it. And there's people, like, if anyone that's watching this is in the online space, they can probably totally relate because maybe they started a long time ago and they saw other people passing them up. And like you said, we get this comparison thing, and I'm like, well, dang, I'm never going to make it. Look at this guy, you already passed me up. But instead, I'm like, okay, it gives me hope. Like, okay, Ryan, well, tell me, like,
Right.
tell me what you did.
Well, I think it's one of those things where people think that like I heard David talked about this. Like, it's not about like, hey, what'd you do in 3 years? Like a lot. This started back. I mean, sometimes you don't know it started, but this has been in the making for since you're in elementary school. Like you start shaping yourself. You start all those things. It's like people say, oh man, I did this in a year. Erin Birch. She's always like, yeah, she did X, Y, Z in like 6 months of getting online, but she's also got 18 years of being an entrepreneur under her belt, that we don't see. And sometimes it's the stories sell. We say that a lot. The story sells. So yeah, of course we're going to curate a story that sells to people. You know what I mean? um I always say, hey, I was able to make $2,000 in my first week of my last project, but there was a lot of stuff that went into that. You know what I mean? The story sells, but sometimes we got to look at like, man, there's situations that happened when I was in college or, in high school or, after college or working or whatever it is that led to some of these things happening. You know what I mean? So when someone says like, oh yeah, I did this in like 2 years or a year, sometimes you got to look at what's under the surface too. I mean, that's where the bulk of the iceberg is anyway.
So how long did it really take you to get all the things jiving? Like your autoresponder was set up, your website set up, you actually have a blog because, like, as we know, most people call themselves entrepreneurs and don't even have a website. Or before I joined you, I was looking to make this like nonprofit thing for homeless veterans. And so I started asking online. You can tell, like, I ask a lot of questions. I love questions. So I started asking questions, and I was like, so what do you guys use for your website? And everyone, there was split between the middle. Half the people said, just go free and get the crap done already. And the other half said, WordPress is the bomb. And so I go, okay, WordPress is the bomb. Show me your site. 90% of the people who said they use WordPress were still working on their site.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah, I would
wait
say
a minute.
that, like, I would say that, I mean, I'd probably still say the same thing. I work on my site every Saturday. You know, I look through my site every Friday, and I write down a list of things that I want to improve on my website. And it may sound weird, but I honestly, in my mind, it works kind of like NASCAR or like a race of some sort. So like what I'm doing in my mind is all I'm doing is I'm preparing my car for the week's race. And I'm changing the tires, I'm doing the oil change, I'm checking things, making sure the links work, making like what can I improve, you know, and that's what I do on Saturday. But I would still say like my I got autoresponder work to do today on just going through some messages. Um, I still work on my website. It still gets better daily or weekly. Um, so I would say like honestly, it's never gonna be perfect. You know, it's never gonna be perfect. Just make it better daily or weekly or however you want to make it better. Um, that right there will lessen the stress of all that. You'll literally feel it just go boom. It'll because it's never gonna get done. So the stress of feeling like you have to get it done is making you stressed out. So if you just say, you know what, I'm gonna make it better, and if I can just lock into the fact that I'm gonna make it better, I'm winning. You know, it's like one of my mentors used to always say like, you the stress of you telling yourself something that you're going to do that you're really not going to do it is more stressful than anything. It's like, if you tell yourself you're going to quit smoking, he used to always say the stress of someday is killing us, because we'll say, you know what, someday I'm going to quit smoking. Well, if you just replace someday with I'm going to right now, and it's a lie, then you might as well just keep smoking, and you'll
Yeah.
be less stressed out by not telling yourself you're gonna that you're gonna quit smoking, and you'd be like, and you could actually let that pressure go and say, you know what, I'm just gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna just puff the hell out of that cigarette and enjoy it, because you stop lying to yourself. So if you're having trouble with like, I'm gonna set up my autoresponder, I'm gonna do my website, or I'm gonna do this, or the stress of lying to yourself is way worse than anything. Just say, you know what, I'm not gonna do it.
So back to that website thing. I'm sorry to cut you
no,
off.
no,
I'm
you're
sorry.
good, you're good.
Back to the website thing. So you could send me your website link and say you have a website. Those 90% people couldn't send me their website link because it's not ready. So like, how do you get something good enough to go? Like, what is it?
Probably just really just deciding on what's good enough. What do you feel good enough to put in front of people? You know what I mean? Like if I were gonna put this in front of like my most skeptical person, what would they deem ready enough? You know what I mean?
That's good, yeah.
Because I think one of the mistakes I used to make is I would put something in front of people that like, if you put it in front of your mom, like, chances are she's gonna be like, oh, sweetie, this is great, it's beautiful. I used to put my old website in front of my mom, and she used to compliment it all the time. And then and then she called me last week, and she was like, somebody sent me your website. I guess somebody she knew sent somebody my website, and she looked at it and she started crying, and she was like, oh my God, like you've come so far, you've done all this, and it's a journey, it's a process, so it's going to be better next year. I hope that it continues to grow. There's never a stopping point.
Yeah. So we know that you hear the echo? Is that me?
You're good on my end.
Okay, good. Okay, so we know that the most important part of the business is not even the little stuff we do. It's really becoming the best version of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So what tools did you pick up? Because you said you've already pretty much, like, overwhelm is not a thing with Ryan Cody McMorris. So what did you pick up? Like, do you meditate? Do you yoga? Do you listen to positive audio? Do you read? What do you do?
I do all that. I meditate. I read. I sit in silence. I talk to myself. I'm listening to audios all day, but the thing that I think really makes the difference is DONE, and it's just saying I'm done. If you make a true decision and you're just like, you know what, I'm done with overwhelm, I'm done with stress, I'm done with that, I'm done. It's not a part of me anymore. That's what helps the books and the audios and the coaching and all that stuff. That's what makes it all kind of come above the surface, but you got to really make a decision. Most people just aren't in that decision. They're just in this place where they're just kind of like, I hope it happens. I hope I'm not overwhelmed today. I don't want to be stressed out. And when we're in a place where we're like, I don't want this to happen. I don't want this to happen. I don't want this to happen. The universe, all it hears is, I want this to happen. The energy that we put out is saying, I don't want this to happen. And it's what you focus on expands. So, so it's like, if I focus on what I actually want instead of focusing on what I don't want, I mean, imagine what kind of energy that'll put you in. It'll put you in a place of, you're like, man, I'm starting to focus on what I want. I'm focused on making 30 grand a month. I'm not focused on losing the $3,000 I had to pay for the coaching, right? Two different things. It's like, I'm focused on what I want, not focused on what I don't want. So many people are focused on making a bad buying decision. Well, that's what you get. Instead of, so a few people are focused on the exact thing that they want to happen. They're not focused on how they're going to get it. They're just focused on that thing. And it's, nothing will stop me to get this.
Yep, I totally agree. And, it's amazing how much our words do affect us. And a lot of it's probably from our childhood. We've been programmed into this way of thinking. And yesterday I was in a sound healing class. Sound healing? Yeah, it's a sound healing class. And they talked about Dr. Emoto's water experiment. Have you heard of it?
I haven't, no.
Dr. Emoto's water experiment was, he got some water and he put some good vibration, different megahertz, different types of music with it, and then he froze it. And the ice crystals were so beautiful, and the ones that, all the positive fields. And then he started I hate you. He told the water, I hate you, I hate you. And when he froze the water, it became this big mush. It was so ugly.
That's crazy.
And we're made of 80% water.
Mm-hmm.
We are water. We are energy. So all those things, these positive audios. I mean, I had a bad childhood, so it's been hell. I've had to go through hell redoing all the bad stuff, and it's a process. And if you can't get rid of it, it's pretend you own a convenience store, right? Because online business is no different than offline business.
Nope.
So if you own a convenience store and you're shitty to all your customers, they're never going to come back.
Yeah.
You don't know how to have a conversation with people. You don't know how to be nice to people because you don't know how to be nice to yourself.
Exactly.
So that water experience was that experiment was so powerful. I was just thinking oh my God,
it's
our
crazy.
Vibratory fields it's real. It's
mm-hmm.
real.
It's crazy. I mean, I read something this morning about this health company that, when they do presentations, they don't refer to their presentations with bullet points because they don't use any violent language. So they call them success points or whatever. They don't use the word, when they talk about the competition in their marketplace, they don't say that they want to beat their competition. They say they want to, distance themselves from their competition, and they teach that to all their people. So it actually, it puts all their employees in a state of achievement instead of a state of aggression. And it's just simple, just how one word, just bullet points instead of, success points, can change how we feel inside. It changes how we view the situation that we all of a sudden got overwhelmed at, and now we feel encouraged. We feel empowered to actually achieve something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I'm not going to keep you too much longer. You just sparked something for me. we're talking about online business and offline business, and I think it's so important. Like, this society is so backwards. If you never become a business owner, there's a huge possibility you will never do any personal development in your life. Like, there's just a huge chance that you're just not going to do it. Like, who's going to make you do it? Unless you were in, like, court-ordered therapy or something traumatic happened to you, you know? So it just really got me thinking, even in therapy, right? Because really, back to that, like, how you do one thing is how you do everything. I'm always connecting the dots. And in network marketing and online marketing, people always teach your belief. It's all about your belief. And so I started seeing this NLP therapist. I'm actually calling him in like 20 minutes. And he's a hypnotherapist, NLP guy. And when I went to him, he said, "What are you trying to get out of this?" I was like, "I want to learn NLP. I want to know everything you know. Teach me the words to say." And he's like, "Back up." You know, and I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "You can't change your words without changing your belief. You know, like, you have to find what the core faulty belief is in you. When we find that, your words will change. Yep. You can't just change the words because they're going to always revert back because your belief is not right." So I think this all pretty much comes down to, like, belief. Like you're saying, you believe you're going to fail. Well, obviously you are going to fail. Like, you believe that you can succeed. It's going to be like one day at a time. Some days are going to be better than other days. And you're going to make it eventually. Like, success is inevitable, you know?
Yeah, once you make that decision, I mean, I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, truly, once you make a decision, the universe will literally start bending over backwards for you. You know, but it's about, too many of us have plan B's and C's and D's, you know, and it's not about having a plan B or whatever. It's about adjusting to plan A. You know, like, how can the universe give you something when you have 26 different plans? And you're saying, okay, if this plan doesn't work, then I'm going to go to the next one. You know, it's like how why people don't win in Vegas is because, you know, they show up and, you know, they're like, all right, well, if I lose $100, I'm out, you know. Well, you already showed up ready to lose $100, right? If I show up with a different attitude, I'm ready to bet the bank. I show up with energy. And most people at Vegas will say the reason why people don't win is because they never bet enough. They said if people bet more, they would then Vegas would really take a hit.
Well, just like relationships, how many people are leaving their options open?
Right.
Right? Like, how are you ever going to have a successful relationship and you're always leaving your options open? Yeah, options are a huge thing.
Yep.
So I'm so grateful for you doing this. I just want to know one last question, and this is always a question I've always asked on any interview. And what are you reading right now?
Right now, I read 3 to 4 books a month right now. I'm reading Persuasion, which is Robert Cialdini. He had the book called Influence a while back. We're going through the Think and Grow Rich workbook right now, as well as I read Think and Grow Rich every year. So that's what we're going through. I don't have it on me, but I'm reading Steve Harvey's new book. It's called Jump. And so I'll be doing that. And so those are 3 books I'm reading right now. I'm also listening to Grant Cardone, Obsessed, the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. And I'm listening to another Grant Cardone, it's a sales audiobook. And then on deck for February, so I have all the books that we're going to read for January, February, and March are right here on my desk. And it looks like the next 3 up are Advertising Profits from Home, The Art of the Sale, and Limitless by Ben Daly.
Nice.